All right, so here's a demo into a portfolio optimization tool, taking all my years at Honeywell, FLIR, as well as BASF, various roles as product manager and portfolio manager, chief of staff to CEO of a $3 billion business. So with that, let's begin. So in this, I do have a plug here into where my resumes are located, as well as my portfolio management tools are, so you can explore yourself. And here we'll go to portfolio optimization. This was developed in 8 hours of coding. The idea here is to innovate the speed of thought. So as APIs are readily available for AI tool sets, we'll be able to do more with this. But right now, we'll go to live demonstration. I left a code here for you to explore on your own. You go to open, and we will go 369963 to unlock that capability. And here you will see a first intro into portfolio management tools. So there's a portfolio prioritization. I can go into a manager view, see the portfolio with hierarchy, reduced down to a business unit, SBU or strategic business unit, alpha group, a grouping of various products as well. So I'll let you see that with what I call DS, which is drone swarms. As well, I can go to gate requirements and go through the various gates. It's good to standardize a business. At FLIR, I was able to take 10 businesses and reduce it down to 7 total gates, so we can look at a portfolio holistically. Now, I'll also go to ROI visuals, and here you'll see we're in a manager view. When I click on ROI visuals, we can see each project. Again, we have DS, which is, you'll see drone storm for the BU. We're over allocated. Again, this is fictitious, but what you can see is I can go to these, view an actual project, and that'll take me to the project card, where you can see on the left side the SBU. Our remaining spend, $5 million on this one, net present value of $22.9 million, current year revenue of 5.7. Now on the right side, you'll see a card where it says the launch window for 2028 Q2. And then you can read more about the value prop. What I like here is you can go and get a quick understanding of that project pretty simply, and then zoom back out. You can also see whether I have business unit selected, SBU, alpha group, or product. You can see the funding line of various products at $66 million R&D spend. And you can also see that at a BU level, a business unit level, where you see the projects that are above the line. You'll see 4, 4, and 2, which is 10 total projects, as well as everything below. Now, I didn't know this was going to work, so I'll show you something that shocked me even. I basically attempted to put all the requirements, so instead of having to do PowerPoint presentations, you have everything embedded inside this tool yourself. So you do still have these slide cards where I have key things are value prop. So in this value prop, you can see here is next best alternative on the left with value adders and why we're better than competition, and a value capture at 67%. And with that too, I can go into a slide mode as well. See that here. So this whole slide is live. So any adjustments on the financials will update this chart, for instance. You can go through on a given chart. Now, mentioning value proposition, because that's one of the key things you can use to see your progress versus competition, or what we're using today. I'll go to one of these projects, expand that in full view. We'll see that here. So you can see this value waterfalls, next best alternative with 195. And the idea is to have value adders we can put willingness to pay assessments on. And the leftover values at the top, that 120 bar, in order to price with the blue and gold bar. So with that gold bar right now, we're 67% blue value capture for the customer, and 33% with our price. So why we can charge better than competition is because all those green bars added up, but we don't want to charge at the top end at 407 or 607. What we want to do is use it so they feel like we're giving a discount. So I'm going to show you how this works. Go to edit value prop. So I'm going to change that to 50% value capture, so you can kind of see what that does. So if you look at that bar now, save drivers, it actually increased that bar, so it's a 50-50 split of between the blue and the gold bar there. We can also add a differentiator. We'll say, I'm trying to see what project this is real quick. This is autonomy, edge, and the business here is edge mission autonomy. So let's call this live link 16 updates. So from the network, we're going to see live positioning of various drones. I can put a value driver here of maybe that's worth 20, and then I'll put we think that is we'll put 3. Not a super large importance versus competition, but since there's a positive value adder, we'll go ahead and save drivers, update that value chart. Now so you now see 4, and when you go to present mode, you can see that whole slide in front of you. So there is the tool in a short window opportunity explaining, but the key here is use this for gate reviews. Everything is pretty modular built, so you can see risks at that gate that we've highlighted in the meetings, so we can document as a team. Also, I've designed this so you can track each slide contribution, and in the slide itself you can see the live status, whether it's gates complete, we're in work phase, or we're getting feedback still. What I also like about this is we're going to portfolio prioritization. You can see this whole portfolio in different levels. So here we have it by pillar. Here is the strategic pillars: AI targeting and terminal autonomy, and autonomous loitering munitions. We also have it by risk. So in green is the risk-weighted revenues versus the orange, which is full revenue, but that's the risky part, right? So we have confidence in green, not as much confidence in hitting the orange achievement. So we also can reduce that target, as well as take the base revenue of the businesses today. Again, this is a fictitious example, but you can kind of see how that works. Most important to me is having a business setup where we can actually go and change things ourselves with the setup. So this is a random company I've picked, but you can change that name. And I'll show you here. This is an education initiative I set up in 2020. Hit done, and all of a sudden we have Excel AI at the top, and you can do that with a slew of various setup mechanisms, right? So I can change various conservative growth cases, call that something else for low end and high end of R&D investment. I can change the strategic pillars, change the colors myself, add various segments, not only Air Force ISR, but add allied forces, for instance. And key here as well as we can call up these what I call dog tags for the project summaries and select other metrics. Give the ability for the review board to be IRB, which is Innovation Review Board, or Product Review Board, PRB, and change that as we need, right? And so we give really the user ability to set up their own business units, even strategic business units, and describe and set that up. Alpha Group, which is something that from BASF while working for them, they had detailed alpha codes that got into more detail, and then you get the products that fall in each of those as well. Material number, not as key as this case, but basically this is to track everything until everything's official in your system, and track SADI ratios, or ability to track what you said in your business case versus what you did. So ultimately, I will say that this has been a cool project to work on, to put all my knowledge in one place. But what's really surprised me is this ability to do growth modeling, and also the just whole dashboard on having your gates and what projects fall in each gate, and just clearing everything really easily and having all your metrics update. So one can easily see that, hey, for drone swarms we had budgeted 20 million, but we're allocating 35, which is over 17 million, and here's the allocation of all of our drone swarm projects if we do go and scope to DS, which is drone swarm. So we got in this case 10 projects for drone swarm out of the 33 total, and we can pull up various views for VP, etc. You can see the slide status by looking at gate requirements, open digital presentation mode. So each slide from slide 1 executive summary has the details for that, which is there. And then most importantly, I have this cool feature where you can go in and change value prop. You can even change the competition, next best alternative, in bars here. But this auto sets into a presentation. So that's saves me a lot of time when I'm doing these, and also just team members that you're working with to convey, what are the requirements for each of these gates. It's pretty easy to go and say, here's the one-stop shop to help plan your portfolio and do your business cases, whether it's once a quarter or whether it's weekly, right? Now, weekly is excessive, but in the age of AI, I think we'll get to real-time allocations that are a little quicker, and we can go see our portfolio in an array of different views in order to reduce risk as a team. So with that, I will bid you farewell and just mention that, when we're aligned, we can actually drive priorities and take action a lot earlier. Just like real-world field environment, we're constantly OODA looping everything. We can do this in a business environment where we're getting on the same page without waste of time, spending time on presentations, but also on what financials are actually there for a certain project, because this capability lets anyone go update and see the financials on a technical capability level, on year projections for labor, contract, materials, but it also lets you shrink that down and go through your commercial, update your quantities, or just update your revenues and margins for new product revenues for various projects. So, with that, you're able to save a version, and more importantly, you can see version control by sliding this bar over as you have more versions at certain points throughout the year. So again, cool project to work on, just taking all my knowledge in one place. Instead of working many Excel spreadsheets, you can see this all in one place. So I'll leave you with that and close this session down. Again, my name is Alex Seguin. I lead the Excel AI initiative here in Austin, Texas, and I'm looking for opportunities to showcase my product management excellence and help others do the same as we de-risk as a team and accelerate growth.